I'm Steve, and welcome to the SteveCo. I've been enjoying making these videos to help people understand how tech actually works. Inform, enable, and empower. That's the goal. Tech shouldn't be a mystery. This is the third part in a series of stories about my son exploring the internet, or the grid as it's called in a certain movie. I leave it to you to figure out which. In the first video, we talked about the 3 languages that built the web. The second followed the journey of a click on a web page, email, or mobile app. This one's about what's actually running on the other side of the computer. Your phone, your smart home, your car, pretty much anything on the internet today. So, last time we followed a request from the keyboard to the server and back. DNS, routing, TLS, the whole journey. But we never really answered the question, what's actually on the other end? What's running your bank, your favorite site, the services you use every day? The internet isn't magic, it's infrastructure. When something breaks, it's not the universe failing. It's a specific system somewhere on the grid. It could be on your end, at the destination, or anywhere in between. Let's follow my son as he explores this representative analog of the internet, exploring both history and technology. On the edges of the grid, you'll find Perl wizards and towers, writing regex incantations that nobody else can read. An early programming language, Perl was a Swiss Army knife that was both functional and artistic to its users. Their scripts still run in corporate basements, parsing logs, moving files, held together by duct tape and sigils. The wizards can be heard chanting at times, "There's more than one way to do it." The oldest neighborhoods he encounters, like villages, show their age and are populated by Linux, Apache, MySQL, and PHP. One machine, one stack. A simple and functional recipe of operating system, web server, database, and programming language. WordPress runs on this, which means that a significant portion of the web still lives here. Blogs, small businesses, local restaurants, you name it. It's not abandoned legacy, it's chosen. These folks mow their own lawns, they know their neighbors, and their code works just fine. My son continues on and encounters a new district, the Artisans. Convention over configuration was the call of the early 2000s. If you follow the rules, the framework handles the rest. Twitter was born here, GitHub and Shopify as well. Clean lines, opinionated architecture, and a philosophy that code should be beautiful. A little smug maybe, but they ship fast and the code feels good to write. He continues on his way. Now in the suburbs, he finds a preference for something called the mean stack. A language called JavaScript is dominant here, covering all layers of the stack and introducing a new form of database that was more flexible and ad hoc, perfect for developing quickly. Interpreted languages that can be changed on the fly added to that and gave developers great agility. No compile step, no waiting. Write the code, run the code. But when one language covers all the bases, browser, server, and database, that agility compounds. You stop context switching and start shipping. Startups live here, shipping features at startup speed. Build it, ship it, fix it later. It did generate some chaos though. The trade-off? Open a node modules folder sometime, where the list of dependencies are stored. Dependencies speed up development, offering tools that the developers don't need to write, like avoiding reinventing the wheel. But that list can be massive. Packages depending on packages depending on packages. A fractal of code written by thousands of people who may or may not still maintain it. Personally, I live here, but it does have problems. One deprecated package can send a shockwave through the entire ecosystem. But at least you see the abyss here. In the corporate district, he discovers Java. The buildings here are massive, gray, institutional. It's been here for a long time, and for good reason. He can tell that big money and power has built this place. Banks, insurance, government, commerce, it's all here. J2EE and Spring specifications compete for dominance. Abstract factory patterns and XML configurations that stretch for miles. Nobody calls Java sexy. Nobody brags about their Java side projects. But Java is employed. Heavily. Massive enterprises don't take risks with interpreted languages. The code is compiled and can run anywhere with an adapter called a runtime beneath it. Windows, Linux, it doesn't care. This code runs for decades. Another paradigm coordinates much of this. Containers are all-inclusive bundles that let you package your code with everything it needs to be run on a different resource. Same behavior on your laptop as in production. At least in theory. But containers at scale need management. Kubernetes became the answer. Orchestration, scheduling, self-healing deployments. Behind the holographic constructs, YAML. Hundreds of lines of indentation-sensitive manifests that break if you look at them wrong. The propaganda promises automation. The reality is that configuration overhead is required for infinite scale. Bedazzled, my son continues on his way and reaches the city center. Past the corporate towers, the grid changes again. No servers here, not that you can touch. Code spins up from nothing to handle a request, execute, and then disappears again. Lambda functions, API gateway, DynamoDB. You only pay for what you use, rather than wasting resources that would otherwise sit idle. Traffic spikes that would crush the villages, the city just absorbs them, shifting resources from where they aren't needed to where they are, with not a care of who's requesting them. But you can't see the machines anymore, at least you're not supposed to. Just dashboards and logs. Code without a body. And then he notices something else. A flicker at the edge of perception. Matchmaking that learns. Anti-cheat that predicts behavior before it happens. Recommendations that know what you want before you search. Not conscious, but not just code either. Patterns that move like they're thinking. Emergent behavior arising from scale and data. Mountains of data. It seemed that they could live only here, where power and resources were abundant. And the language powering those patterns? Something serpentine. Indentation sensitive. His dad had warned him about it. It's both a great language to learn and a terrible language to use. Python. It suffers from environment management headaches, pip struggles, and phantom paths, but it can do almost anything and it powers the engines that learn. A different kind of chaos than JavaScript. Looking back on his journey, the grid had started with servers that were owned by the operators, metal that they could touch, then virtual machines, or VMs, machines within machines, then containers, smaller, more nimble, and more portable than VMs. Even smaller, these were machines that ran within the machines that ran within the machines. And then even smaller and the most agile of all, functions that can complete their tasks and disappear in milliseconds. And now, systems that write their own code. The server came back online like it always does. He rejoined his squad and won his game. But part of him stayed on the grid, watching those patterns pulse, wondering what else was waking up inside the machine. So that wraps our trilogy. Part 1 was the 3 languages that built the web, Part 2 was the journey of a click, and Part 3, what's running on the other end. If you missed the earlier parts, they're here on the channel. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to comment on what you'd like to see next.